This week in comic books, we have Unstoppable Doom Patrol, and this story's taken a weird. It's always Doom Patrol. It's always weird. This one's kind of taken a weird turn, and I'm not 100% sure if I like where they're going with this. I need your help. Like, help me explain this one. Over in the lands of Marvel, we get Clobbering Time, #1, and it's exactly what you would think if you put Thang and the Hulk someplace and just take the leash off of them. It is just carnage everywhere, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And also in Independence, we got Local Man, and I'm really digging this story. And now the mystery's coming forward, and the tragic story of an arch nemesis, and kind of how that broke out. It's kind of sad, with more sad things to come, I think. All that and a boatload of other comic books and what happened in them. But first, I want to show you about a recent pickup that I got to kind of give you all a preview of an auction that's coming. Check this out real quick. So, just picked up a couple collections that I'm going through from the Virginia Beach evidence locker. So it looks like we're going to be having another auction coming out soon. Keep your eyes open, folks. So yeah, all 8 of those long boxes are slam full with mostly independents, but there's a lot of your traditional Spider-Man, Daredevil, stuff like that in it. It looks like there's a lot of arcs in it. Somebody was a reader apparently, so a lot of good stuff in there. Again, nothing super high value. Mostly minor keys and stuff like that. But we'll get those over to the auction house as soon as we catalog everything and get it up, and I'll get that message out to you as quick as possible. But let's talk about this week's comic book haul and review. Let me start off with DC, and we're going to talk about, that's right, Doom Patrol's back. And it's weird, and it should be weird because Doom Patrol's weird, or at least it's been a weird story over the last few years. And in this particular one, they've decided to kind of make the Doom Patrol the Sebastian for all mutants out there, right? They're going to go save all the mutants out there in the DC universe. And they're under this kind of weird concept that they can just go anywhere they want to with the justification that they're doing the right thing to go save something that is obviously tearing up the town. Now, of course, there's a backstory to it and a bunch of things we got to understand, but still, at the end of the day, there's a bunch of carnage and everything. I get it, right? I get that. Batman shows up. He doesn't really like when people just start doing things in his town. He's kind of territorial that way. They kind of go through this thing and they kind of dress him up and down about how this is their job. This is what they do, yada, yada, yada. We're going to grab the mutant that's causing all these problems and we're going to take him away and possibly even make him a team member of Doom Patrol. And they do that. I don't know if I agree with that sort of mentality, that this kind of made up justification to do it, or righteousness to go to somebody else's zip code to randomly feel you need to do whatever you want to without at least addressing the fact that somebody's already there to do the right thing or a good thing. They technically agree at the end of the day. I don't know, right? Like, it seems kind of weird to me. So this is obviously something I'm going to have to chase down because I want to see if they kind of get the idea that, hey, these heroes are there. This is their backyard. And it is a matter of respect to some degree. Hey, can we work with them to do this, right? And I think that would be a great way to kind of integrate other people. Also, first appearance in this of Beast Girl. And it's not just a mimic of Beast Boy, which I found that refreshing. She's a beast. She's a girl. Obvious name, right? All superheroes, obvious name. But her power isn't the fact that she can change into different animals and stuff like that, like Beast Boy. She kind of controls this whole flight notion in your head, right? Like, she can kind of alter that to make you run away, or I guess stand and fight, because that's how they described it. I like her too. She's quirky, she's weird, she's new to being a superhero, so obviously Mr. Robot is somebody that can kind of mentor her through it and still be his kind of goofy self at the same time. Kind of like the TV show where the robot and Mary Jane, or Jane, Crazy Jane, kind of work together. I like that concept. So yeah, I'll be chasing this down to kind of see where it goes, to kind of see if we're like, hey, we're going about this the wrong way, just barging into people's backyards and doing whatever we want, and they just have to understand. I don't normally agree with that kind of narrative. I don't find that very conducive to a society in any way whatsoever. So I don't know. Again, I'm getting older. That's my hat says. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Next, Stargirl. This is just a lovely story. We're on issue 5. We have one more. I'm still wanting to know if my prediction is going to come true. But in this one, we get the frontal assault on the castle to go, save the kids and try to get them back to their timelines. We got Childminder, who seems to be very wanting the kids to be polite and doesn't really she talks like that lady from Harry Potter. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that wore the pink dresses and was very strict. Kind of talks like her. That's the voice I hear in my head when I read her side of the story. And of course, we were led to believe that our man is the kind of like the head boss of all this. But the way the narrative reads in here and some of the things, the way things are said, it's kind of suggesting that there's something else going on in here. And they keep hinting towards that. At the same time, while the frontal assault's going on and the bad guys are running around trying to stop it, we get a jailbreak on the inside of the castle again to try to come forward. We see great characters like Child Flash, somebody from the Flash family. And it was really interesting to kind of see how she was motivated to use her powers differently. You would have to read to see what I'm talking about, because we all know that if Flash shakes really fast, he can kind of morph through things, because it's molecule woo-woo science stuff, right? Kind of morph through things. This one, it was kind of cool because she shook so hard and hit something, it would explode. And that's probably more accurate. If you shake something super fast and touch something else, there's a good chance it will break. So I really enjoyed that. Kudos to the writer on that. But all in all, again, I still think that there's going to be this kind of twist ending to it. And I'm getting to the point where I'm reading this and I'm like, there has to be a reason why the kids have to stay here. Like, what's the whole point? It's not just to sell the kids off or anything like that, right? I'm starting to think that there must be a reason why they're here that helps, like the unknown good, I guess it would be a good source of that. So yeah, good stuff. Next, Steel. Out of all the Steel issues yet, I would say that this is probably the weakest one. Basically, it's just a rehashing of Martian Manhunter's origin story back on Mars when the white Martians and the green Martians fought. So he came to Earth, hid himself to be Alfred, kind of disguised himself that way. So now we know it's the white Martians that are causing all this trouble. I don't know. It just seems weird. And now, because all the male figureheads are dead, we have kind of these 4 queens that are running everything, which is cool. I'm like, slay queen, but slay. Like, go physically slay something. It's medieval times. You read these stories because you want to see the swords and the shields and the clashing, right? So I'm kind of hoping that kind of keeps up the action scenes in it, and we kind of don't fluff this out into like a negotiation where we just automatically outsmart the bad guys and they have to go away. Like, just kill them. Kill them. All right, next, Avengers Beyond. If you're not familiar with the Beyonder, you've read a storyline. He's just one of those omniscient beings, right? That is an annoyance. He's like a perpetual child, but like he's all powerful, right? Well, nothing's all powerful, right? There's always a bigger fish. And in this one, we find out that where he gets his powers from is actually just a sliver of a bigger being out there in the universe that is coming to destroy Earth. And he's like, hey, Avengers, take care of this. Since you've beaten me in the past, take care of this. I have spoken. The arrogance of him is something to behold, and it is beautiful. I love overly arrogant, perpetual child villains because they always are just the most amazing. It's like watching a real child. It's like watching a real child. So this is fun, and I'm happy to say that I can read an Avenger story and get some enjoyment out of it, and not have to roll my eyes every 5 minutes. Like oh god, no, this is just fun, and I think everybody would enjoy this. She-Hulk even makes a big appearance in it. We got rid of that weird hunchback-looking devil She-Hulk thing that they had running for a while, right? The more classic, I guess, right? The recognizable She-Hulk, if you will. So yeah, this was fun, and I hope it stays fun. Next, clobbering time. So, like I said in the beginning, take clobbering time. Take Thing and take Hulk and put them in a dimension and give them a reason to take them off their leash. And what can you do than a small, furry creature that is being overrun and the big monsters are coming to eat them or take them away? That's good enough for them, and that's exactly what they do. They just run through here and just smash and crash everything in this. It is just a disaster from beginning to end. And we're playing with dimensions, right? So weird things are going to happen. We kind of get this amalgamation of Iron Man and Doom in here too. They don't really say much about him. He's kind of jumping through dimensions, portals, whatever woo-woo you want to throw on it. He's kind of skipping through here to look for something. So obviously we're going to be getting more number ones from this, I'm sure, because it's Marvel. But be on the lookout. I think the next one's like Thing and Wolverine, I think. Was the ad in here, I think? Probably. I don't know. It's just going to be a mess. They're just going to grab the most savage people they can to do some of the most savage things. That's my prediction. And honestly, sometimes this stupid, dumb violence is fun. I'm comfortable with violence. So, yeah. It's clobbering time. Alright, next. Venom 1. Lethal Protector. So, if you remember Venom from the 90s, the Lethal Protector run, you kind of understand this story. In this one, we kind of talk about, because you have the ability to help somebody, is that always the best thing to do? And in this one, there's an individual that he's kind of like, I don't want this guy associated with me. The guy wants to be his sidekick. Got tied up with some bad things in the past, and Venom saved him from it. And then he gets tied up with the wrong crowd again. Of course, Venom saves him from that. And then, at this point, the guy's like, well, why don't I just hang out with you and be a sidekick? And Venom's like, no, it's not probably the best idea. Because in this story run, he's wanted by the cops. He's not very well liked in the public. They make a point of that in here. And so on and so forth. So, is just because, I guess the best way to put it is if it's not always good to take the stray dog home, right? Like that could lead to more problems, especially if your own stuff isn't in order. Like you don't have a house, right? Why would you try to save every dog out there if you can't feed yourself? How are you going to feed the dog? Food is a thing in here too, like having to eat food out of the trash. Also, we get some good Silver Sable action in here too. This thing is all 90s. It is big pouches, big hairdos, big muscles, big boobs, everything 90s. It screams it in this book. So if you're a fan of 90 comic books, this is probably right up your alley. But all in all, it was a fun story, but it's not something I would really chase down, obviously. But I do still recommend it for those people that love those shiny covers from the 90s. Alright, next. Strange Academy. So we get our big battle, and Emily is just the worst person ever. So she teams up with Dormammu. Why do I have trouble saying that? Dormammu? And of course, the adult teachers in the class kind of handle Dormammu. They take him to another dimension. Boom, we're going to go fight over here. And the kids are left to kind of fight the kids and Dormammu's army. And they make it very clear, hey, you're not on the side of good. You're just being used. Your argument is exactly what's happening to you. And like for some people out there, they're just not seeing it because their belief is that they are on the right side of righteousness. Emily does not want to be used as a tool by the teachers to fight a war that she didn't want to have, but yet she wants to team up with Dormammu and fight a war against her friends. People she knew. Even one of them she loved for a period of time. And it's amazing to me because sometimes you can just get so blindly raged. And this can happen in life, right? You can be so blindly raged towards something that you absolutely refuse to see or hear what anybody else is saying. You just don't hear it. Yeah. Alright, next. Local Man. I'm really enjoying this, especially now that we kind of have this unique twist to it. So, Boys, right, has that vibe to it, but now we're going to throw a little bit of a mystery theater into it as well. He's constantly being hounded by his old team, by a robot, reminding him that, hey, you can't do these things anymore because we say so, yada, yada, yada. But we find out that his arch nemesis from, before he was on, Big Boy Superhero Team, kind of has a brain injury, and he just recently came up dead, right? And obviously, he's one of the suspects in it, even though he didn't do it. But we find out that he's kind of brain damaged because of a hit that he took from an old teammate of our guy, Local Man here, or Crossjack, as they call him. Crossjack. Cool name. Very, very 90s. So, and the mother kind of explains this to him, and we come to find out that he really kind of enjoyed the whole being part of the superhero thing, even though he had the worst part in it. It was just fun for him to be a part of something, and like the brain damage was so bad to him that he would draw these kind of crowned comic book pictures, and he would just go live that with him, right? And it was kind of like with fighting a child, right? The kid wants to fight, right? So you act like you're fighting the child, right? But you always put the kid down, right? You're like, right? Just to show him. Kind of what was going on here. It's sad. It really is kind of sad. Like, I was like, oh, you went that route. But the mother of the supervillain, of course, is very broken up by this, and she's not mad at Crossjack. She knows it's not his fault. But, again, somebody still killed him at the end of the day. So who was it? Why did they do it? The mystery's afoot. Let's run down this rabbit hole and find out what's going on there. I really like this take on this comic book. Last, but certainly not least, something I've really enjoyed this week, and I'm going to go ahead and dub it Book of the Week, because it's a huge deal. Alright, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I never thought I would ever say this. I'm actually enjoying this. Power Rangers always seemed kind of cheesy to me, but I'm enjoying this. And I've been following this now. We're on issue 4. I'm going to go ahead and finish this through. And basically, the Turtles had to go to Dimension X. Remember Dimension X, where the brainy thing from Kang is from, right? So they're going to go there. Come to find out, there were Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on Dimension X before it was destroyed. What? And the Turtles activated the MacGuffin power node thing, right? And turned into Mighty Morphin Power Rangers again on Dimension X. Super cool. While everything on Earth, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers here are still mutated as dinosaurs and fighting the army here on Earth, right? And all they're really doing in this is just cross-swapping the villains in this to fight the different heroes, right? So the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people that normally fight them, those bad guys are fighting Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, while over in Dimension X, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are having to deal with the classic Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. A lot of them from the TV show. Like, I never watched it, but you kind of get the sense. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. But you kind of get the sense that they're from, like, the TV show, from the way that they talk. Because they even made a point, like, dude, you don't have to announce yourself every time you're about to attack. Like, they would, right? I know that was a thing in the show, right? So they do that in here, too. And, of course, Casey Jones, who was kind of playing both sides, mostly to be a double spy for the good guys, kind of gets caught in this one. It looks like he's about to get something bad happen to him. Hopefully they don't kill him off. Like, I don't see him doing that, but we'll see. I don't know. So all in all, that's my haul and review for this week. Definitely let me know what you picked up this week. What did I miss? Because I know a couple of things I was like, I don't think I'm going to get that just yet. But if I missed something, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Also, I'm supporting the comic book community awards. I know there's been some controversy about that, and I can tell you from personal experience and knowing a lot of the people involved that a lot of it is just people just raging just to get views and likes. So, and I'll admit I even kind of got a little spicy in some of the comments. I wasn't wrong though. Like, I'm not apologizing. I'll be very clear on that. But I will ask a favor. So I'm going to link from now to the time that the votes are closed. I'm going to leave the link in my description down below. Please consider going, and it doesn't have to be me. I'm not asking for a vote myself. I would appreciate it. I like awards. I have an ego. I'm okay with awards. Violence and awards. I'm okay with them. But I know a lot of you watch multiple shows out here, and you see multiple people, and there's multiple categories that you enjoy. If you could, please, definitely go and vote for the shows that you like and support, right? It means a lot to YouTubers because it takes forever to build an audience on YouTube. It's taken years. I have been posting videos without missing a single beat, weekly beat, plus some, for almost 5 years now. Just over 5 years. Ooh, I've been doing this too long. For 5 years now. So I understand the grind and the struggle to make sure you constantly put out content. And again, I'm not saying that for a vote. I understand. and YouTube's hard. Like YouTube is not on your side. Like, it's just not. So somebody bringing something new and exciting and that can be engaging and interact with people, and God forbid, again, something new to our little community, I'm all for it. I really am. And like I said, I know the people that are involved in it. I know them all to be honest people. I don't know them to be liars. I don't know them to be cheats. I don't know them to be bitter or angry people. Um, they will protect their own, though, rightfully. So, yeah. Again, I'm just going to leave the link down below. If you just have, it takes like 10 minutes to fill out the form. Not even if you already know who your favorites are and you know what the categories are. You can even get through it even faster. So definitely, the shows that you like, the shows you support, definitely show them just a little bit of love. That would be, it's huge. It really is. So, yeah. I got nothing else. I got an Evil Air project, auctions, and everything else going on. So I'll see you all again next week. Bye.